bless the Lord at all times, and his praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make his boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear of it and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. For this is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Amen. I welcome each and every one of y'all today. And let's open our Bibles, if we would, to the Gospel according to Matthew. Matthew, the 15th chapter, starting with verse 21. And you will see these words are something very similar coming from the New King James Version of the text. Then Jesus went out from there and departed to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came from that region and cried out to him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, yes, Son of David. My daughter is severely demon-possessed. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and urged him, saying, send her away, for she cries out after us. But he answered and said, I was not sent except to the lost sheep of Israel. Then she came and worshiped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, it is not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs.
My God.
And she said, yes, Lord, yet even the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Then Jesus answered and said to her, O woman, great is your faith. Let it be to you as you desire. And her daughter was healed from that very hour.
Thank you, God.
This morning, I would like to preach from the subject, my faith is my superpower. My faith is my superpower.
Yes, God.
Many of us want a faith that is able to move mountains. Some of us have been taught, if you want the mountain to be moved from your life, speak to that mountain and say, mountain, be thy removed. But let us consider the elements necessary to grow such a faith that we can speak to a mountain and that mountain shall be moved. We spend much time and resources on health. We schedule time for a physical once a year to have our health checked up. When we recover from certain health crises, we have scheduled follow-up checkups just in case.
All right.
We spend time and resources ensuring that our bodies and our possessions receive the attention that they need. Some of us even take our cars in for a checkup whenever it's due, according to that little sticker that goes up in the top corner of your windshield.
Yeah.
Or maybe some of y'all have a fancy car and it sends you a light to let you know that it's time to bring the car in for service.
All right.
But when it comes to our faith, every now and then we need to activate our faith superpower with a faith check up.
All right.
Let's address our faith, but not just ordinary faith. I want to address the subject of our faith being our superpower.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Not too long ago, and some of y'all might be familiar with the story, I had problems with my right eye. As a matter of fact, the pain was so severe that Tisa recommended, because it was a Saturday morning, that I go to the online doctor. So after logging into my computer, going to the website of the online doctor, and sitting in the online waiting room for about 15 hours, just like I would if I would have went to a physical doctor, the doctor had me to get close to the camera on my computer so she could look at my eye and see what was going on. So after hearing what I explained to her that I was experiencing, and as she looked at my eye through the lens of a computer camera, she told me what was wrong based off of her observation. She gave me a prescription with instructions to follow, and that I would immediately go and see an ophthalmologist as soon as possible. Now, a number of things went into motion. First of all, I had to believe that I was talking to the person who could help me, because they were online. I had my doubts.
All right.
It was just a conversation over a computer, pretty much like we're doing right now. So I had to watch her on a camera as she watched me on her camera. I listened to what she said, and she offered a solution to my problem. Now, I could have laid in bed and meditated and thought I could have believed her, but stayed at the computer thinking about how good it was that I had found an online doctor who understood my problem and provided me with a solution. I could have laid there and sat there just thinking about how good it was that I have a solution for my eye problem. I could have just stayed there thinking about how good and confident the doctor was as she told me what was wrong with me and what would make me better.
Well,
It possibly gave me some fuzzy feelings because I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know if it was some type of issue that could lead to blindness. I had no idea. I just know I was in a lot of pain and my eye was bothering me. So, before our conversation ended, she again reiterated that I would go and get the prescription that she prescribed for me, and I will follow up immediately, as close as possible and as soon as possible, to go and see an ophthalmologist for a further result in care. So, guess what I had to do? I had to get up on Monday morning, get in my car, drive to the Walgreens, and say to the pharmacist, I'm here to pick up a prescription for Darryl Jones. Taking this illustration further, I could have just received the medicine from the pharmacist and looked at it. I could have just gazed at it and realized this looked like it might work. It looked like medicine. It has the name that she told me I would get. But my eye would still be hurting if I didn't follow the doctor's instruction of using the prescription in my eye as often as she suggested that I used it.
All right.
See, a lot of times we get fixated on just receiving the instructions, but we hardly ever activate our faith by the work required in doing what was instructed.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us are spiritually sick, and every week, every Sunday, every Wednesday, we go and listen to Dr. Jesus' words of encouragement, words of instruction given by spiritual leaders all over our land. And we will leave that service, some of us just thinking about how good that word was.
All right.
How much I needed that word from the doctor. How much I know that that word can change lives only to not take the prescription given by that doctor.
Yeah.
There are some of us who would go to a doctor, get the recommended solution, go to the store, buy the prescription, and still will not take it.
Yep.
There are some of us who think, never mind that that doctor have gone through upwards of maybe 20 years of learning how to be a doctor. Never mind how many patients that doctor may have seen with your same symptoms or something very similar, only to ignore the instructions of that doctor.
Yeah.
We would take the instructions of someone who barely know how to conjugate a verb.
Come on.
We would take the instructions of somebody who wouldn't know a knot upside their head if you put it that for them personally.
All right.
But when it comes to taking instructions from the doctor,
Yeah.
we will not activate our faith with our work.
Help us.
Well.
How many of you know that if you dream as big as you can dream, anything is possible?
Yes.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's the underlying theme of the whole Bible. With God, nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
Have anybody ever met anyone who would you say had great faith?
Yes.
No matter what the situation was, they always saw the silver lining.
Yes.
No matter how hard the task, they always believed it could be done.
Yes.
No matter how big the problem, they were persuaded that that problem could be handled.
Yes.
Jesus met such a person found in today's gospel lesson just like that.
All right.
He tells us that great faith looks like a distraught Canaanite mother begging for mercy at the feet of Jesus.
Yeah.
Even to the point of being willing to accept any crumb that may drop her way. I don't know about you, but I would love to have the kind of faith that Jesus called great.
Yes, it's gonna cost you.
I would love to have the kind of faith
Yes.
that Jesus called great. What about you?
Amen.
How many of you would love to have that kind of faith that Jesus said it was great?
Amen.
Let's look at what this Canaanite mother did to earn such a compliment from our Lord. And this will provide us with a gold mine on what we need to do to continue to develop and activate our faith and transition it to great faith.
Yeah.
Jesus was walking with his disciples from Galilee to Tyre, the Gentile city on the beautiful Phoenician coast. And a local woman, as a matter of fact, a Canaanite at that, approached Jesus and cries out to him, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is suffering terribly from demon possession."
Yeah.
Jesus doesn't answer her first cry for mercy at all. But she doesn't give up. Even though many of us will be discouraged by the Lord's initial lack of response, she presses on.
Yeah.
You know, I never understood how so many of us can give up so quick on that which we desire and need so severely.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me help you set the parameters around this text. Remember with me that this was a Canaanite woman
Yes.
who came from her heathen land
All right.
to see Jesus.
All right. Teach now.
And I'll give you an equivalent. That's like some woman or some male coming to a church asking for some money to pay their mortgage, and they're not a member of your church. As a matter of fact, they don't even go to church. As a matter of fact, they are pissed off at God, but they need their mortgage paid.
Yes.
Well,
There are some churches, and I know none of y'all ever been to a church like that, where you were in need and the church ignored you. You were a tithing member. You gave for year in and year out. You participated in auxiliaries. You were faithful and committed to the ministry of that church. You were dedicated only to the fact that when you were in need, you were ignored, and it left a sour taste in your mouth, and you vowed to never step foot in that church again.
watch out, Pastor.
That's what a lot of us would do, have done, or will do,
Mama.
based off of one rejection.
Yes.
One rejection. There are some people who would tell you, if I ask you for something the first time and you don't give it to me, I'll never, ever, ever ask again.
Never, ever, ever.
Because I've been too good to you
Yes.
for you to never say no to me. And I just needed you this one time. This one time, and you weren't there for me. And they will get an attitude with
Yes.
you. They won't speak to you ever again. They will tell their family friends that they should never speak to you again. And they will hold a grudge forever based off of one rejection. And you're not even Jesus. But this woman, her daughter was possessed by a demon. An agent of Satan attacked her body. And today, some might consider, as they try to exegete this text incorrectly, that maybe this was some form of what we call mental illness.
All right, come on.
But the Bible differentiates between mental illnesses and demon possessions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus cast out many demons, and he has also healed people from paralysis as well as palsies.
Yes.
But a demon occupied this little body.
Yeah.
How many of you know that even children suffer the attacks of the devil?
Help us,
Yes,
God.
baby.
Help us.
So this woman came to Jesus and followed him along with a crowd begging for his help. I don't know about you, but like this woman, there was nothing that she would not do for her little girl. I know that some of you, there's nothing that you wouldn't do for your little girl or your daughter or your loved one.
Yes.
Even to the point of begging. Begging. I know a lot of us don't like to beg. A lot of us have a problem asking when we're in need, let alone beg.
Come on.
Yeah.
But she begged because her daughter was so important that she desired that this demon be removed from her daughter.
Yes.
No doubt that this mother had heard of Jesus and the miracles he had performed along his journey.
No doubt. You heard.
She heard. She hadn't seen. She didn't read about it. She just heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
But clearly, she believed, based off of what she heard about Jesus, that Jesus could fix what was broken in the life of her daughter.
Yes.
Yes.
But she was not an Israelite.
All right.
I'm so amazed that there are people who won't step foot in a church but believe God more than we do.
Yeah.
The Bible says she's an Israelite, which means she wasn't a believer. She didn't belong to the bloodline of the Israelites. But yet she heard of a man from a foreign land,
Come on.
of a foreign group of people. She heard about him. And because she heard and believed some of the things she heard, she got up from her home,
Yeah.
left the land of Canaan, and went to this land where Jesus was walking through and begged this stranger. Some of us won't even beg a loved one. Some of us won't even beg our spiritual leaders, but we will beg a stranger.
Yeah.
She begged this stranger for help. What greater need could she have had than to have her daughter vexed with the devil? You know, I don't know about you, but there are a lot of things that I might be all right with. But if one of my kids were possessed with an evil spirit like that, I'm going to have to try to do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if I don't believe, I'm going to believe that because of what has been done in the past can be done again because of my love for that who is ill and affected by an evil spirit.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that she chose 4 words to get Jesus' attention.
Yes.
She didn't say, if it be thy will. She didn't say, now Lord, I'm standing here with bending knees and bowed heart and broken heart. She didn't say none of that. She said, have mercy on me.
Yeah.
And I thought about that for a long time. And I said, why she didn't say, have mercy on my daughter?
All right.
Her daughter was the one who's possessed by the devil, not her. It was her daughter.
Make it plain.
But she said, have mercy on me. And that reminds me, if you want to get a word to Jesus, you have to use 4 powerful words. Have mercy on me. And how I know those 4 words work? When the blind man heard that Jesus was passing through his city,
Come on.
he didn't shout out, I'm blind, I need help.
Come on.
He didn't shout out, I want to see. He said, have mercy on me.
Yes.
And then if you want to push the envelope a little further, let him know that you know something about him. Because not only did she say, have mercy on me, she said, thou son of David.
Come on.
It's amazing when you need something from somebody and your demand goes to them, and then you let them know you know who they belong to.
All right.
But even with that, Jesus answered her not a mumbling word.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how we would have felt if we go to Jesus, how we do feel
Come on.
when we go to Jesus.
Yes.
And we feel as though he didn't mumbling word to us.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe I could understand if she would have walked up to Jesus and tell him how good she was. I got baptized on June 17th, 1979.
Yeah.
I started reading the Bible every day.
Yeah.
I pray every day. I go to church every Sunday. I sung in the choir. I served on many boards. I'm dedicated and committed to my church. And you gonna ignore me? You gonna treat me like that?
Yeah.
She didn't say that.
Help us.
She just said, have mercy on me.
Jesus. Yeah.
There are times that we have to come humbly before the Lord as we know how.
Yes.
I'm just amazed how a lot of us don't even know what the word humble really means.
Jesus.
But we have to come humbly before the Lord, meaning he has what we need, and we need to do whatever we can, even if it means beg
Yes.
to get it.
Yes.
There are times that we come humbly before the Lord with a trembling voice because we don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help us.
And only thing we can say is, have mercy on us.
Thank you.
Have
God.
mercy on me, Lord.
And it seems that if Jesus turned from that feeble plea that she has, and he has turned from the feeble plea that we have,
All right.
it's as though he turned a deaf ear. So what do we do when that happens to us? We get on our knees and pray.
Yes.
And sometimes it seems as before we even get on our knees good, that prayer was answered. But there are times that you get on your knees and you will go into prayer, and then some of us learn that sometimes prayer might not be enough, and we might even begin to fast.
Yeah.
We might even have what they call the angelic and heavenly language of the gift of speaking in an unknown tongue, and still get ignored.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't answer a mumbling word to this Canaanite woman. And I often wonder if it would have been an Israelite, would he have answered? But that's another story for another day. But this Canaanite woman, Jesus didn't answer her prayer. So his disciples came to him and urged him, send her away, for she keeps crying out after us. I hope y'all got that. Send her away, for she keeps crying out after us.
All right.
And I'm amazed. And the disciples continually, consistently, always amaze me with, y'all ain't nobody. How in the world did the disciples think that she was crying out after them? She wanted Jesus. She didn't care about them. The disciples said, send her away, but she's crying out after us, like they can do something about it. Like they can tell the demons to leave. We already know the disciples couldn't do nothing at this time. I thank God that this mother came not to Jesus' disciples, but she came to Jesus. That's a lesson for all of us. Quit going to the wrong person about your problem. Quit telling everybody about your situation, especially knowing there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
See, just because it may not look like Jesus is responding, don't mean he didn't hear. There are a lot of us, we might not respond to things, but we heard it. You might think you're being ignored, but you're not being ignored. We just ain't saying nothing. You think praying and not hearing back from God was bad in this text. But what Jesus did when he answered this woman, I would have rather have been ignored. He said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to the dogs. Did Jesus call her a bee?
Well,
that's what it sounds like to me if you look it up and translate it. He said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to the dogs. He had to call not only her, but her daughter a dog also. Right then, some of y'all would have been pissed off. No, he didn't call me a dog. And nobody talk about my daughter like that. Because there are some parents who would get upset if you say a bad word about their children. But Jesus called not only her a dog, but your daughter too. Some of us, we get so offended so easily that we miss an opportunity to activate our faith and move the mountain of miracles that have been placed before us. It's easy. Sometimes we're so offended by the pastor and the bringer of the word for that day that we would get so mad and vow to never come back because maybe he stepped on your toes.
Real quick.
Or maybe he told you your problem is you.
Yes.
We get discouraged by the words sometimes that people say around us when there's an issue, and the issue is you. We have come to expect stories from Jesus to make us feel good. Stories of how Jesus healing those who were hurt, healing those who were sick, healing those who were lost. But this time, the story from Jesus wasn't a feel-good story.
All right.
His response was nothing that we would ever expect. And some of us have heard stories that have happened in different ministries. Yeah, don't go to that church. Don't go to that church. I went down there one time, and that church got a lot of money too. I see all them cars in the parking lot, that big old church, and those suits he wear and she wear, and them diamond rings and watches. I know that church got a lot of money, and they wouldn't even give me $100. They wanted me to fill out a credit application for $100 just to pay my light bill. That's how some of us are when we get ignored, and especially ignored by ministries. But first, Jesus ignored her, and then to make it worse, he told her that she was not right to be helped because she was a dog. I can't even imagine what it would feel like if one of us were to go somewhere and ask for some help, and they say, I don't help ends. Cause that was equivalent to this.
Yeah.
I ain't giving no money to no ends. When my family need it.
Yeah.
So his remarks, it's not fair, it's not meet to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs. But what I love about the Bible, what I love about Jesus, and what I believe with my superpower faith, I don't believe it was ever Jesus' intention to send this woman away without the miracle she needed.
Come on. Teach now.
It was never his intention to have her to walk away feeling shame for what he said to her.
Yeah.
But if Jesus would have responded the very first time, I truly don't believe we would be reading in the Bible about this Canaanite woman who Jesus said had great faith.
Yeah.
So with this great woman of faith, he allowed her faith to be tested.
Yeah.
He allowed her faith to be tried to prove itself genuine.
Yeah.
He wanted everyone around to know that this Canaanite woman meant business.
Yeah.
She ain't the type that's just gonna stop when the answer don't come right the first time.
All right.
She ain't the type that's gonna quit praying and never pray again when everyone has grown weary.
Yes.
She's not the type that's going to give up just because her feelings got hurt.
Yeah.
How many of you know it's not God's intention for you to leave his presence the way you came?
Yes, never is.
It is not God's will for you to go without the miracle and the help that you need.
Yes.
But God is allowing our faith to be put on trial.
Yes.
In the courtroom, where God allows our faith to be put on trial, you have to prove without a shadow of a doubt that your faith is strong enough to not only stand up against the accusations, but your faith must be strong enough to stand up against cross-examination.
All right.
Not only was her faith on trial, not only will he know how great our faith is, not only will everyone around us realize how great our faith is, but more importantly, we will know how great our faith is once it passed the test.
Yeah.
How many of you know that the province of faith begins where probabilities cease and sight sense fail?
Say it again, bro.
How many of you know that the province of faith begins where probabilities cease and sight and sense fail?
Jesus.
All right.
Faith don't always make sense.
No, it does.
Faith is hardly ever rational.
Nope.
Faith is hardly ever understood. But without it, it's impossible to please God.
Yes.
This Canaanite mother addressed Jesus as Lord 3 times in this passage alone.
Come on, come on.
Some of us hadn't said Lord all week.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Some of us hadn't said Lord all year. And all hell has been breaking loose in our world since 2020. And there's still some Christians, I ain't even talking about those who are not in the body of Christ. There are some Christians who I believe hadn't said Lord since 2020.
Help us. Help us.
You know, I'm grateful for President Donald Trump. I thank God for President Donald Trump. Not like you all do, but Donald Trump will make you pray.
Yes, he will.
Donald Trump will cause you to tap into your faith and trust that the Lord will make a way out of this stupidness, out of this callousness, out of this dumb, ill-informed thing called the democracy that we're living up under right now.
Yes.
This mother is an underdog, begging for leftover crumbs that she knows she needs. But notice what she didn't do. She didn't demand it.
Amen.
She didn't storm out on this particular text. As a matter of fact, she responded quite interesting. She actually agreed with Jesus' judgment, and she conceded that, yes, I am a dog. But even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the table of the Lord.
That's it.
It It's not that such a masterful stroke on behalf of the woman. She said, even the dogs eat the crumbs from the master's table.
Yeah.
As she does that, Jesus himself judged her, and Jesus had to take refuge. He is caught now. He said, she's right. Even the dogs get the crumbs, and I called her a dog.
Yeah.
Because truly, people let the dogs have the crumbs under their table.
That's it. They sure do.
And in some houses, and in some families, the dog eat better than people.
Yeah.
The dog sit at the table with a bib around their neck, with a knife and a fork in their hand, slicing steak, while some of us could only get crumbs.
Yeah.
Jesus completely opens his heart to her and yields to her will, so that she is now not a dog, but even a child of Israel.
Yeah.
God concealed his grace from her initially, only to prove her faith was strong.
Well.
The truth to the matter is, all of us are beggars if we're honest.
Yeah.
Because God has everything.
Yeah.
And for us to get what we need, there's going to be some times we're going to have to bow our knees and ask the Lord to have mercy on us, to give us what we need.
Yeah.
Have mercy, Lord.
Thank you, God.
All of us come by grace alone. Everything we have is a gift from God.
Gift from God.
No matter how hard we work, our paycheck is a gift from God.
Yes.
Still a gift from God.
It was God who gave us our talents in the first place.
Yeah.
To secure the job, to keep the job, to earn the paycheck that we get.
Yeah.
No matter how much we exercise or eat right, our health is a gift from God.
A blessing from the Lord.
Our health is a gift from God. Great faith dictates that we are persistent in prayer. You can't have great faith if you pray willy-nilly. You can't have great faith if you don't have great prayer. Jesus didn't answer her first call, so she kept crying out. And when Jesus spoke, it was not to her, but he spoke to his disciples about her. Jesus didn't even, when he did speak, he didn't even talk to her directly. Can you imagine you going asking somebody for something and their friends are around and they turn to their friend? Who are you talking to? I know he ain't talking to me. I don't even like those kind of people. And he gonna come and ask me for something?
Wow.
Jesus didn't even talk to her initially. But her persistence showed her faith.
Yes.
No bold persistence, no great faith. Many of us have been taught incorrectly as children that when you ask for something and you receive a no, you're not to ask again.
Yeah.
I remember my mom, and this is something, I'm not sure if I had the opportunity to tell her, but I sure have said it a lot since I've been an adult. My mom had this statement: if I can't give it to you, you don't need it.
Yeah.
And as much as I love my mom, that was one of the biggest errors my mom ever told me. Just because she couldn't give it to me, don't mean that Mother couldn't give it to me. Because Mother would. Just because she couldn't give it to me, don't mean my Aunt Niecy wouldn't give it to me. See, I found out that if you continually ask, if you continually beg, eventually you will get that which you desire if it's God's will for you.
Ask, and you shall receive.
See, in Philippians 4, thank you, Pastor. In Philippians 4, we are taught to be content with what we have. And I know a lot of us love reading that, being content. In many ways, that's a very helpful attitude to have, that we ought to be content. But that contentment is talking about being content with people, not being content with God.
Come on.
Because the Bible says, ask, knock, and the door will be open.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
We have to ask if we want to receive. This woman not only asked, but she begged.
Yeah.
In Matthew, the 11th chapter and the 12th verse, Jesus says, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence,
Come on.
and the violent take it by force.
You gotta take it by force.
The violent take it by force.
Yeah.
That's a lesson to us here in America right now.
Yeah.
That's a lesson to us who we feel, those of us who feel oppressed by those who have in America.
Come on.
The violence take it by force. Sometimes you have to take it. Sometimes you have to go and get it. You know, you ask for it. You beg for it. They got it. They don't want to give it to you. Every now and then, you just have to go and take it. Because the people who are in power, they ain't gonna just give up power just because we ask for it. The people who have justice to give ain't gonna give it to us just because we need it. We have to take it.
Yes.
I love that we people like to protest. I love how we like to march. But
All right,
I'm
now.
tired of seeing protests.
All right.
I'm tired of seeing marches. It's time that we take that which we want. If you want justice, take justice. If you want equality, take equality. If you want the right, take the right. People ain't gonna just give you something that they have enjoyed for over 400 years.
Yes.
They only gonna give you what they want you to have.
Help us.
Sometimes we have to reach out and grab hold of that which God has in his hand.
Yeah.
God have things in his hand for us, and God is waiting on us to reach out and grab it.
Yes.
Jesus is telling us here to pray boldly and persistently. Be like the Canaanite mother and never give up. And we can learn from her vision. Crumbs are little things. A little portion of something much larger. Crumbs to many are insignificant. Most of us overlook crumbs, even in our spiritual life, because we're so busy grabbing for the whole loaf of bread. But this woman, what she saw in a crumb, some of us see in a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
She would not be put off by the crumb that Jesus offered unto her. Just a crumb is all she needed. Just a word, just a look of love, just desire that my daughter be healed. That would be enough for me. And as I get ready to close, I just don't know about you, but all I need is a crumb from the master's table.
Yes.
That's it.
I don't need a whole loaf of bread. If there's milk in the loaf, there's milk in the crumb.
All right.
If there's eggs in the loaf, there are eggs in the crumb. If there's yeast in the loaf,
Yeah.
there's yeast in the crumb. Some of y'all ain't feeling me yet. But if there's a healing in the loaf,
Yeah.
there's a healing in that crumb.
Yes, it is.
If there's love in that loaf, there's love in that crumb.
Yes.
If there's faith in that loaf,
Yeah.
there's faith in that crumb.
Come on.
If the anointing is in that loaf,
Yeah.
the anointing is in that crumb. If mercy is in that loaf,
Yes.
Yeah.
mercy is in that crumb.
Get it from.
If grace is in that loaf,
Yeah.
grace is in that crumb.
Yeah.
If deliverance is in that loaf, deliverance is in that crumb.
Yes, sir.
I don't know about you, but if salvation is in the loaf,
Yeah.
salvation is in the crumb.
Yeah.
My faith is my superpower.
Yes.
My faith is my superpower. I just reach out my hand and say, superpower, activate.
Ha!
My faith is my superpower. I don't know about you, but I trust.
Thank you.
I believe.
Yeah.
I depend on the Lord. I receive what the Lord has. I trust in Him. I put my hope in Him. I put my faith in Him. If the Lord has it and He wants me to get it, I shall have it. If there's a mountain before me, I know I can speak to the mountain. Mountain, be thou removed. When the rope of hope begins to break, I can reach beyond the break and hold on. I don't know about you, but my faith is my superpower. People want to know how you always believe, how you always trust, how you always feel so good. Because I have faith, unmovable,
Yeah.
faith, unshakable,
Yes.
faith, unquenchable, faith, unspeakable. The joy of the Lord is my strength.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Faith to move mountains. Faith to make a way out of no way.
Oh yeah.
Let faith be your superpower and watch God perform miracles in your life.